Okay, you guys, another update, and I wish this was the final, but it's not. Gosh dang it. I've got the stock motor back in here. Pulled out the 11 horse. It just didn't want to run, and I'm back to this. Doesn't look quite right though. I took the solid state ignition off, and I am running a electronic ignition. So we've got an ABS speed sensor from a pickup truck, an HEL module, and a 12 volt coil. And what that does is that ABS speed sensor is a magnet, which basically when the pins run around on the flywheel send a signal to that. This interpolates the signal and sends it over to here and tells it to fire the coil, which fires the spark plug. And I was going to run almost 5 hours up into Idaho to pick up an 18 horse Vanguard engine for this thing, and my brother says, hey, wait a minute, I just got this thing sparking. And so let me show you what we got here. So you run a 12, got the battery wired in here, it's charging. I just drove it around. It's not running real well, but it is driving right now. So let me get around here. Anyway, so you have to have a 12 volt constant, and it comes up here and it goes to a toggle switch, and then that 12 volt lead comes down to the positive side of the battery. And I was going to wire it just right into the key switch, but for some reason it would not fire when it was supposed to. It was just kind of weird. So what we have to do now is I've got to flip the toggle switch, and then I can go right to the key. There it goes. That's the stock motor. And I ran it for a little while. Let me shut it off here. Now I ran it for a little while, not long, but the motor got really hot and I'm starting to get oil out the head gasket, which is kind of a bummer. It smoked like crazy. Gosh, I just wished it would work. So I know you guys have waited for a while, and I'm as frustrated as the next guy with this thing, but I just want it to work. I built this shroud right here. It goes around the chain and comes up here around the flywheel of the motor, and I'm kind of got everything tidied up thinking this would be the ticket, but not too sure about it. Seats are done, battery's charging. I put in the, let's see, the fuel comes out of the fuel. It goes from a fuel filter down into there and then back in there. Oh, it's not focusing. We've got a shut-off valve here. There's the fuel off. And that just comes in here. You can see the fuel line. I just shut that off. It's kind of sucking it back out of the carburetor. Brakes are working. So I think I've got a lead on a 20 horse Vanguard. I don't know, that might be a little bit big, but I'm probably going to go pick that up tonight. Swap this out with a reliable engine. And this thing, when it's running, it's vibrating like crazy. And I'm not real familiar with COOTs at all. This is my first one, but I think that Vanguard's probably a little smoother, more reliable motor than this old thing. I know you guys want to see me keep this engine in here, but pulled out maybe my last hair that I've got trying to figure this thing out. So anyway, that's the update on the old COOT. I'll probably be dropping in another motor. This one was sitting in it, 11 horse, and it runs real good, but I cannot get that Chinese carburetor to quit leaking fuel. It floods out, and frustrating. So I've had that motor in and out of this thing half a dozen times. This thing weighs about, I don't know what it weighs. It weighs a lot. 75, 80, 100 pounds. I'm not sure. Cast iron. And that thing's been in and out of there 100 times. And anyway, we're getting close. Thanks for sticking with me. We're going to put this video out there, and then hopefully next time I'll be dropping in a different motor. Okay, thanks for watching. It's a few hours later in the evening, and just like that, we've got a new motor. want to say thanks to Todd for helping me out getting that motor. Got a good price on that, and it should work out really, really well. Looks like I'm gonna have to change where the brake went. Probably go back to maybe the stock brake. Fits in really actually a lot better than I thought it was going to. The drive shaft is going to have room there. The solenoid is going to have to get remotely mounted somewhere. That was mounted right down on the side of the starter, and it hit. So that's going to have to get moved somewhere. And I'm going to have to get the mounting bolts put back in. I've got the other old ones cut off, and then that's where it's going to sit. I made a mark. Oh, you can't really see it back down in there. There's, oh, you kind of see that crosshairs down there? That's lined up right with where the old one was, so the belt tension should be fairly close to the same. And we're going to have to do stuff over here with the fuel coming in and the throttle, which COOT Tom's going to help us out there. He's sent me some pictures of how his throttle linkage works. So, hopefully this one's going to work. Seat's going to have to raise up 2.5 inches to clear the air filter. But, man, this thing over here is frustrating. I know a lot of you guys wanted me to use this stock motor, but it's not in the cards. Anyway, we are putting this one on the bench and going with the 20 horse Vanguard. Okay, well, let me know what you think. So far this has been a long series of videos. Thanks for bearing with me. Hopefully the next video that we have up and going will be this thing cruising around. I'm dying to get this thing out and cruise it around. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, definitely comment. I like to hear what you guys have to say. And have a good evening.